Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. You can ask any questions, anything goes. Unmute yourself or type in and go ahead and fire away.
And then go ahead, Ralph and Deborah.
Hey, Ralph.
Hey, Greg.
Hey.
Last week we were talking about my wife's wrist and hand where she was having a problem.
Mhm.
And you suggest using marjoram on it and then
Right.
doing some manipulation.
Mhm.
That's working out real well for
Good.
basically knocking down the background pain.
Okay.
If she rotates her wrist, right and left or in and out.
Like this or like a circle?
No, just, can you
Like
see
side to
this?
side?
Hang on.
Side to side.
Hold on. Okay, do it again.
Side to side.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. One more time.
Okay.
Okay, still-
Hang on.
So it's rotating basically left and right.
Oh, got you. And she's
And-
feeling the pain down in the wrist, not up
Right.
high.
It's in the wrist.
Okay, let me look at one thing just really quick. Give me just a second here. I want to look
Yep.
up trigger point thing that. Hmm. Okay, well, it's not coming up, so I'm gonna ditch it. But with it being in rotation like that,
Mm-hmm.
like if you kind of have her like just do her hands kind of where it would lay down flat,
Yeah.
and so there you could still use the marjoram,
Mm-hmm.
but like rub it kind of down, like right down the center of the forearm
In
on
between-
both sides.
In
Like
between
on-
the two bones.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And then from there, like after you have applied the marjoram, then
Mhm.
kind of do like a crab technique where you get in between and you just kind of wiggle your fingers between the two bones.
Okay.
And it's a very there's some deep muscles that are in between those two bones that
Yeah.
usually cause this kind of issue.
Okay.
I mean, you're unwinding part of the problem, but sometimes these deeper things, you got to unwind it on its own. Like it's not going to unwind with everything else you're doing.
Okay.
So just keep pinching. Like, and when you pinch, don't just like pinch like this, like pinch and then hold for like about 10 seconds.
Okay.
And then slowly let go. And then go to the next one, like just to where you can feel like some good pressure, and then just hold it for about 10 seconds and then slowly let it go. And then, do it about maybe 4 or 5 times down her forearm.
Okay.
Still apply the marjoram because it will help. But like if you unwind, I can't remember, it's like pronator or something and supinator or something. If you unwind that should go away.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will look at that. Next question. I have a bottle of vetiver
Mhm.
and it's so thick I can't get drops out of it.
Yeah, so I mean that is some of the resins and heavy oils get
Yeah.
that way, and so so I even wrestle with, should I add a little like jojoba to it or alcohol or let it be pure? And so here's the thing that you can do. Pretty much that and maybe 1 or 2 other oils are the only ones that we really have this issue with.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm able to buy things from different areas where they're distilled a little different and they're not quite as like thick like that. But
Yeah.
the issue with vetiver, as it ages, it gets thicker. And
Okay.
so, the best vetiver is also aged. Like, so you have this kind of like little weird thing. And so you can make like a hot water, like you're making it for a cup of tea. And then
Okay.
keep the bottle closed and then just let it sit in there for about 3, 4, 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and then take it out. And it should, it might not come through the reducer cap very well, but you can pop the cap off,
Yeah.
out, and then just like kind of pour it a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
One of the things, if you're trying to blend with it or add it to like an ointment, or I mean, you can just add a little bit of jojoba to it just to make it like always liquid. You know,
Okay.
sometimes you have to do that with older resins.
Yep.
A couple of things that I get, they don't even come as an oil, they come as a solid, and I have to like heat it and get it to liquefy and either mix it into a blend, or if it's a straight, you know, something, I had to make it into like a little bit of a liniment, you know, because it's just it won't stay liquid. You know,
Okay.
you have to mix it with other liquids.
What happens if I put some rubbing alcohol in it? Does that cut down on the efficacy?
No, not at all. It would make it easier to move. And I mean, especially if it's in a small bottle like that, you know, any like the purer the alcohol, the better. Like whenever I'm doing something like that, I'll use perfumer's alcohol, which is pretty much
Okay.
almost just pure alcohol. So you could get like a good grain alcohol or something
Okay.
like that. Something that doesn't have a strong scent. Rubbing alcohol would work as well. Put a little bit in, you know, you can probably still heat it up, put it in, and then shake it up really good, and that
Yeah.
will make it much more liquid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
Okay.
Keep me posted on how that goes with your wife.
All right. Yeah, I'll start with with that, you know, down
Yeah, crab
the
technique.
arm, the crab technique this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then go ahead, Deborah, then Troy.
Hey, Deborah.
Hi, Greg.
Hey.
I really did a number on my toe.
Yeah, like Samantha was telling me, I think you sent her a text or email or something, and so
It was in the Facebook.
I was in the Facebook
Group.
thing. So
Yeah,
you were just doing
I
a
got
yoga
some great-
posture, and that happened.
Yeah, it's I've got a really long second toe.
Okay.
I mean, it's about a half inch longer than my other toes.
Okay.
And so, you know, I catch it from time to time, but this time um the blood from whatever the trauma is
Mm-hmm.
has gone all the way up mid I can see it all the way up mid part of my foot. So I'm and the way that I deal with
Can you send me a picture? It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
right now, but like email us a picture just so I can.
Yeah, it's actually the inflammation initially displaced the third toe, pushing it to the away from it. You know, I've gone through this kind of trauma with being hit by the motor scooter,
Mhm.
and um, and then having popped my ACL a few years back. And what I find is that instead of feeling pain, as most people describe like a sensation, for me it is extreme sadness.
Mm.
And I'm having trouble managing it. Like I don't know how to release it, and it's I'm already dealing with other sort of things that sort of provoke the sadness. So
Mhm.
this on top of it is really, I'm having trouble like
Okay.
managing life right now.
Yeah,
So I
sure.
really
And
like
you never know. Like sometimes there's like body memory or muscle memory from old events that, you know, were physical or like, you know, just painful emotional events that like it physicalizes in us all. And so sometimes, like you said, like a posture can make it arise, or an injury. You know, there was a therapy back in the 60s where they were treating psychological things that people were trying to process. They wouldn't do it with talk. They would put people in different body positions and then have the like emotion come, or the memory or whatever it is. And so yeah, that's a very real thing. um, you've been putting helichrysum on it, which hopefully that's making you feel better. The sadness, you could try inhaling the helichrysum on the back heart, but the one that I might go to for you on that is, do you happen to have any benzoin? I think it's been in a kit in like the last few weeks or so. I can't remember what class it was, but like, wasn't it in
I
some-
can look through. I've never purchased it.
No, it would be something that you probably have in a kit. Like most people don't buy benzoin.
It was in the most recent meditation class, somebody saying.
It was in the last meditation class. The white light, whatever we call it. I can't
Oh,
remember.
I have, yeah, then
Yeah,
I would have it.
It's in there. It's in there.
Okay.
Open that up and inhale it and do a thing where you put your awareness on the area between your shoulder blades. And the thing that's really nice about benzoin, it's actually used in a lot of anointing oils in the Christian and Jewish tradition. And it's this interesting thing. You know, different oils, like when you get an injury, like the tarragon, you know, it kind of lessens like the kind of the shock effect that happens to the body and to the emotions when there's some sort of injury. And you could say, well, benzoin could fall in that a little tiny bit, but benzoin does something really super unique. It, like when you go through and inhale it, either thinking of the situation or here, like it might be non-specific feelings that are just kind of coming to the surface and releasing. You put your awareness on the back heart, and the benzoin helps almost like disentangle from the situation and start to see it like at a distance. Like, you know how like sometimes when the emotion comes up, you just feel like you're in it and like you're entangled in it. And it was like, whatever I do, I just, whatever direction I turn, I can't, you know, I can't turn away from it. I can't sit with it. I can't do any of this. Like benzoin helps you to like get this distance where you can go, oh, that is almost like a scientist looking at an experiment. Oh, that is hurt feelings, or that is sadness, or that is. And so in times where you have like an overwhelming feeling come up, or a feeling that you don't know what it's about, you know, it could be just memory. And you have to keep into account that you could also be picking up things from somebody in your environment. Somebody that you're maybe close to or have interactions with or whatever, they might be having a hard time. And, you know, sometimes if you're a bit empathic, you pick up on other people's things. And so this benzoin would work for even that. Like it helps you to put a little bit of that distance between you and the situation, where you're still being kind of present with it. You're just like being present with it, like while it's over there rather than here, if that makes sense. Since you
Yes.
have it in your kit, I would tear into that benzoin. You know, it has a little bit of jojoba on it, so it probably won't irritate the skin, but usually benzoin by itself, it always has to be blended with things, because if you put it directly on the skin, like in a knead application, it's just a little bit irritating to the skin, you know, just because of like what's in it. It's not really hot, it's just irritating to the skin. But there is enough jojoba in there that if you tap it out and get a drop or two on your skin, it shouldn't be irritating. You know, I put just enough jojoba in there to make it so that you can apply it to the skin.
So applying it to the skin to inhale it, or apply it to the skin?
I don't know how
and
you inhale. Like some people inhale from the bottle, some people like to put it on their skin. Like some people like to tap it and do it like that. And so I made it so that either way you're good.
Okay. That's really, really helpful. And so
I
you
would
mentioned
say-
the empathic, sorry?
I would even try it, like as soon as we're done talking, like pull it out and let me know even before we're done tonight.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the empathic piece, which
Mhm.
is really strong for me, and
Mhm.
I'm just learning to recognize it.
Mhm.
So this is something that I could use pretty regularly beyond
I-
this injury.
It would definitely be something where, you know, because that's the thing, if you're a bit empathic, is you're kind of managing other people's feelings as well as your own. Like, you know, you might not be trying to tell them to like, hey, calm down, but you're like, oh, I can feel this person's agitated. I can feel this person's upset. I can feel, and then you're sitting with your feelings too. And so it's a way to, like you said, put a perspective on that, to where you'll probably still be aware of it, but you won't be so
I can disengage.
influenced by it. You know what I mean? It won't be so like in your face.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, boy, I totally wish that for you. Like that's hard when you have that thing where you can feel everybody's stuff.
so one other quick question, because I know that there's lots of people out that have questions for you. Can you at some point talk about the third eye? Maybe not right now, might not be the best time for it, but is it possible for everyone to open their third eye? And is
Yeah, it
is
can
the
be
third
good.
eye the only place?
I'm the perfect example of that. I really had very little ability most of my life, and then I was taught how to.
Okay. So, and is would you give any sort of recommendations of
Do you
how to
remember
work on that?
the clairvoyance class? You remember that
That
class?
Okay,
Do
because
that. Keep doing that over and over.
all right, I haven't taken that class, I don't
Oh,
think.
you haven't? Is there another one where we really focus on? I mean, did you do the class for the forehead chakra?
Was it called forehead chakra?
It's
I'm
No.
losing track.
Okay, it's called Hidden Secrets of the Pineal Gland.
Yeah, Hidden Secrets of the Pineal Gland.
I
It would
don't
have
know,
been
I'll
at
have
the
to
beginning.
look.
Yeah, it would be at the beginning of the year.
Okay, I just got started with you guys, so I might have just missed it. I think the Gold Flame was the first class I
Yeah.
had with you. So,
What oils
okay,
do you have that are fancy? Tell me a fancy oil you have.
tuberose.
Perfect. So let's have you do this. Inhale it and do your front heart for several breaths, then your back heart, then your forehead. And when you get to the forehead, linger. Like, you know how like you might do 15 breaths here, 15 on the back heart. When you get here, do like 75. Like really linger on the forehead. Then go to the back head. And then just keep repeating that pattern for a little bit.
Okay,
And you
thank you.
like other oils, you know, it depends on what you're trying to cultivate, because even with clairvoyance, there's different components of it. And when we do the angel practice tonight, we'll even practice a thing that helps amplify the clairvoyance. So do that, and that you can do with an oil or without an oil. You won't even need to use an oil for that. And so do the thing from the angel practice tonight, and then do the tuberose and see how that treats you.
Okay, thank you. This is all great. I'm gonna go work on that other piece
Yeah, I'd
first.
like to see how it makes you feel.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome.
And just a quick follow-up with that, someone's asking for the benzoin. Do we need to focus on the back heart for this one too? Because we did, I guess, in the class, they focused on the back heart with the benzoin.
You can just inhale it, but inhaling it with your awareness on the back heart is more potent for, you know, she's trying to, like here we're talking about like processing and letting go of like some sadness or some grief. I mean, there's other ways of doing it as well, but you know, like as we were discussing, sometimes some of that can also be from sensitivity. And so this would be a little bit more specific to somebody who's processing that and a bit more sensitive. And so if somebody wasn't sensitive, it would still work. But like sometimes, like, you know, sadness or grief, there's multiple things that can be used, and some are very general and some are like weirdly specific. And this is one of those ones that like it would kind of work for anybody that had sadness or grief, but if you're real like sensitive, then it really works. It really super works. And then on top of that, for Deborah, it would also got stirred up with an injury, and so there is going to be that component of, you know, something happening in the body, and you know the body will generate hurt feelings as well, not just the emotional body but the physical body. And so it just kind of calms all of that down. You know, if it was a different scenario, but we were still talking about sadness and grief, we might use something different. But this is tied more to the injury and to sensitivity. Yeah. I think it's one to have like in your repertoire. You might not use it all the time, but from time to time, a little benzoin, man, it just keeps everything in perspective when you go outside.
And then go ahead, Troy, then Chris.
Hey, Troy.
Hey y'all.
Hey, give me a rundown. How are you feeling?
Not great.
What's going on?
Breath is still
Real shallow
challenging.
breath again, right?
So I'm sorry, say that again.
You said real shallow breath, right?
Real shallow
Like
and
losing your breath.
just feels like 50% breath or something. And so I did the things last week and tried Litsia cubea and lemongrass and lovage like on the arms and legs a lot. And then I did the lovage all over the body, and I felt like a little bit more relaxed and stuff, but I didn't notice like the breath.
It didn't change
improve.
anything, right? No. And you haven't taken your blood pressure or your pulse or anything like that, have you?
I have not.
You get real winded like going upstairs?
Not super bad. I think I mentioned last time I started jogging a couple of weeks after I had COVID, and I was just curious if like playing my trombone and like going running might, help get things going again.
The trombone especially, I mean, the running would help, but especially even the trombone where you're really having to work your lungs and everything. But you don't seem to be responding to anything. So let's do this. Let's talk about some of the oils that you have. Do you happen to have lemon?
Yes.
Do you happen to have bitter orange?
I think I have orange. I don't think I have bitter orange.
You have bitter orange. Okay. It might have been in a class like a really long time ago, but I couldn't tell you what.
I can look through.
Okay. If you have the bitter orange, mix them 50-50 with the lemon, and if not, just do the lemon. And then the other thing that I would probably add to that is you have any form of petitgrin. It's been in a few classes. I mean, it still might just be something small, but you probably have something somewhere.
I have petitgrin.
Yeah. So let's have you do like the lemon and the petitgrin, and if you have the bitter orange, mix them like in thirds. Mix it up pretty good, and then put it in either alcohol or like a lotion and kind of rub it on the body, especially the torso. You could do it that way, or the easier way would just take, mix it together and then take like maybe three drops or so in water and just drink it.
Okay.
I'd almost prefer that you did it internally versus topically, but I was just still giving you the option.
Okay.
So if this does diminish it, like some of the symptoms, it will mean that it's more circulatory than respiratory. And so I think we need to treat it and just see, like, it could be like lymphatic system and lymph nodes have gotten really congested and has thrown off some of your circulatory movement and everything. And then when you go to breathe and exercise or do whatever you're doing, you're just not getting that full breath. I mean, that can happen. And so it's very common for people to have like a little bit of brain fog afterwards, but like some of the people where some of the symptoms are lingering, I really think it's part of the effects on the lymphatic system, the lymph nodes, and things like that. And lymphatic system, we think of inflammation, we also think of immunity, but the lymphatic system is also a big part of the cardiovascular system. And so it's tied to your circulation and the way things move in the body, and it carries hormones. And let's treat it for a few days and see how this works. You know, you already got all the stuff with you, so it's not like you're having to reach out to do something. Work with what you got there, and let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe like do it for like a day or two, and then like email and let me know just even how you're doing in like 48 hours.
Okay, at info at Plant Prana.
Yeah, Plant Prana Oils. So I'll type it in. So you can do info at Plant Prana Oils or Plant Prana Calendar at gmail.com.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you're not responding to any of the, I mean, some of the respiratory things I think have gotten better, but like when you start having situations where, okay, you're just not responding to any of the treatments, you know, we might be targeting the wrong system. You know, it makes sense to target the system because of the, you know, the COVID and all that, but you know, the thing with COVID is one of the byproducts also was there was like, you know, the clotting and things that were happening in people's lungs and in different parts of the body. And so it doesn't mean that you have clots or anything. It just means that there's something weird about that virus that impacts the circulation. And my guess is it's lymphatic more than just the circulation, you know, hard to say. But let's treat it like what we see as far as symptoms, and like kind of let go of the COVID thing and just go, okay, if a person came and their body was doing this, what we do is we'd start looking at lymphatic stuff and potentially circulatory issues. And so there's stronger ways of doing this, but it's a bit more specific, and let's just do this as a good general way to treat it.
Okay, I'll start with that. I've physically I experienced like most of the sensation like in the diaphragm.
Yeah.
And it just is, it's really intense. It's like there all the time. And I do, you know, pH and go in and clear out and work all around there. And it's just
You're doing the diaphragm, or you're doing where you're targeting?
Solar plexus, spleen, liver, like just the whole.
Do the front heart and the bottom part of the lungs. And like a lot of times what happens when you work on the heart, like do the front heart and the back heart, but a lot on the front heart, because again, you're potentially dealing with heart function and circulation, but also just how the thoracic cage like moves. And as you unwind the front heart, you're doing something to the nervous system that allows the diaphragm to release. And so what oil were we using for that? Give me just a second here. Let me look something up. You have that let's say a cubeba.
Yes.
Okay, that same pattern that I was talking about for the tuberose for Deborah. So front heart, back heart, forehead, back head. But for you, the emphasis is going to be more on the front heart. Like, so the front heart, like, 60 breathing cycles. And then the back heart, forehead, back head, do like 15 breathing cycles and then maybe repeat it once or twice.
Okay.
Let's have you do that before even the end of the session. That way you can kind of come back and let me know how you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see how that is. That'll tell me something that help me take the next step, and we'll address it before we take off tonight.
Okay, I'll do that. Can I ask you one other question?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. So I have like intuitively, I feel like all of this stuff is kind of bringing me back around to like the near-death experience and the series of several, bad accidents that I had.
Mhm.
And I started having panic attacks again recently, particularly when I'm driving, especially on the highway. And I'll start to, feel short of breath and then get kind of fuzzy headed. And then I'll just feel like I'm just going to like pass out or something. And so I have to exit. And I started having those like right after my near death experience and those accidents, and had a really hard time with it for years. And I've been pretty good for the last couple of years. And then now, since this breathing difficulty has been going on post COVID, it started happening several times in the last three,
It
4 weeks.
wasn't happening before the respiratory issue. It's just been since.
Yeah, since then it kicked back on, and I started to like have memories and flashbacks to like some of those events and stuff more often. And it like when it happens, when I have those episodes, like
Mhm.
it just feels like my nervous system is just like
Yeah.
gone completely haywire.
You ever get a little shaky?
Yeah, afterwards. I mean, if I
Like
can't
just
exit,
like a quiver of sorts, you know what I mean? Like you just
yeah,
get a little.
yeah, because like if I'm on the highway and that
Yeah.
happens, I can't exit immediately. By the time I get off, like I'm pretty shaken, and physically, I'll actually like shake a little bit.
And does it ever seem like something in particular has triggered it, or it's just out of the blue?
Um, like as far as what I'm thinking about consciously, no.
And there's no incident externally, like nothing's going on.
I mean, externally, I've had several accidents on the highway, and
No,
right
but
after
when you
my,
start having the feeling, it's not like
uh
somebody cut you off like while you're driving or
no.
no. Okay. As weird as this sounds, like one of the issues sometimes where people like have things like that pop up, like you might not use the word like feeling triggered, but like an anxiety attack or a panic attack can be like like a form of like triggering. There's different reasons why it can happen, and it's never like a clear cut like, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, oh, it's there's a lot of physiological things that can cause these kinds of responses, and then there is like some mental things that can potentially cause them and everything. But given with all the history that we're talking about here, and prior to this where we're talking about circulation, one of the issues that you address when somebody has this potential of getting triggered very easily, having like usually more than an anxiety attack. Like anxiety attacks are usually like other things, but like when it's starting to go to kind of like a place of like panic, um, I focus on the lymph nodes actually quite substantially. The lymph nodes, um, you'll want to treat them through your whole body, and you probably have Bayloral, right?
Yes.
And do you happen to have Arbor Vitae or Arbor Vitae, however you want to say it?
Yes.
Okay, so right off the bat, let's have you like either inhale on all the joints of your arms and legs or dab a little bit on. It's been a long time since I put Arbor VD on the skin. I don't remember it irritating my skin, but check to make sure that it doesn't irritate your skin. And if you can, dab it on the joints, right? I'd still go through and breathe on those areas. And when you get to the hips, instead of going to the outside of the hip, go to the inside of the hip, like where the crease is, where if you kind of poke around there, you can kind of feel like some bigger lymph nodes in that area. You'll want to kind of target that area, so it would be like off center of the sex chakra. Like if you go to the sex chakra, just go over to the leg, and then it's usually like right in that area, right?
Okay.
So like work that area a little bit more, and then still do like the back of your knees and the ankles, and also do some inhalation on the abdomen. And again, let's see how that treats you. Like malfunctioning lymph nodes affect way more things than people realize. And a lot of it is even us, like psychologically. And so I briefly mentioned this in one of the pain classes, like when we were talking about like deposits in the joints, and one of the byproducts of it is that it causes like fear responses. Like, when you have a joint degenerating, or if there's deposits in a joint, well, one of the things is it makes your brain go into a little bit of a fear mode, because one of the joints is compromised. So you just have these biological responses when it happens. And so the thing that I'd like to see here is like bay laurel and arbor vitae for a little bit to really kind of jumpstart the lymph nodes. And then after that, to use something like after about a week of treatment like that, use something like lovage or arthrocare, eucalyptus citrodora, something like that. And you'll be rubbing that on the body, the whole body, just to help kind of keep flushing things out and detoxifying the tissues. And then after a week of that, going back to the bay laurel and the arbor vitae and all that. And let's just like really unwind the lymph nodes. Now, sometimes the lymph nodes are just like full, sometimes they're a little swollen, and sometimes they have like deposits. Right? And so this will be a good start in treating this, but like if it's going to work, you should start noticing something kind of quickly, like within a day or two. Like, hey, I feel like a little bit better, or I feel, I'm not having quite the panic or the fear responses, or the body's feeling a little bit better. But you'll still need to treat it for a little while, but you should start noticing something like, feels like something's shifting or changing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And if it works, like, I'm just starting it off simple. We'll give you like an involved protocol to do, but this will be at least something where you can see, like, is this going to work or not?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
And then go ahead, Chris, then Megan.
Hey, Chris.
Oh, hey, Greg. Thanks, Sam. Hey, just wanted to get your take on this. This has been a family dilemma since my parents died. We've been wanting to sell their property, and I have a brother who's in the mindset that he wants to keep the property because he made that promise to our parents. So one moment he says, yes, we're going to sell. Next moment says, no, I don't want to sell. I want to keep my promise and all that. So energetically, is there anything I can do to kind of diminish that back and forth that he has between the house and with me and my other brother?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the best you can do is just for him to get like clarity. He might choose the house, he might choose to sell it, but at least he'll be clear and stop flip-flopping. Why do you suspect he flip-flops on it? I'm just curious.
Well, part of it is he has bipolar. I mean, he's bipolar.
Okay.
And another part of it is he's always He's kind of like the black sheep, so never had that connection that he wanted with our dad, and maybe that's his way of hanging on. There's so many things.
Like I'm just doing this to see. I'm not like picking on your brother or anything, but like,
Right.
you think he's doing this on purpose?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was looking for.
There's always been that
Yeah,
jealousy
no,
as well, especially towards me.
yeah, I get it.
Because
Yeah, I was thinking like,
was-
how do I say this like
yeah.
politely? But let's
Yeah, you
just
can
say
go
it and
ahead
get it
and just
over.
say it as it is.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, because he was the youngest for the longest time, and then 10 years later, here I come.
Okay, let me set up this. Okay, so we could say like how could we work this with oils, and like, you might be able to do something. You probably, it's hard to say, right?
Right.
You could say with healing or whatever. You know, that's why I was asking, like, is he kind of doing this on purpose, or the point for him is probably not the house, but to be heard, to be seen, to let you know that he was hurting, who knows? Like
Yeah,
it's
who knows?
something,
Yeah.
right? And so, in a way, you could say that even with this property in this house, you guys want different things in this situation.
Mhm.
And so I would do like a couple acts of service or something, or a little tithe, and then decree that karma
Mhm.
from those acts of service, that he gets his heart's desire. He gets what he wants.
Okay. Okay.
And it might change his mind on the property, it might not, but he's wanting something that has nothing to do with that property. And until he gets that resolved, he's probably not going to stop. So whatever it is, let him get it. And it might mean that there might be some weird conversation, or he makes some weird statements, or becomes a little.
Oh, that just happened this weekend. All of
Yeah.
a sudden, he offered to
Yeah.
buy us out. Of course, it's not the value of the house, but
No.
I'm just wondering, okay, what is he doing? And it's exhausting because I try not to be entangled with
It's because you're
drama.
having a conversation about something that you don't know what you're talking about. Like
Right.
he knows what you guys are talking about. You have no idea the topic that's going on in his head.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah. And so you don't know the conversation you're having. And so he's working harder to get you to get what he's talking about, because he's talking in code. And then you're
Mhm.
not able to like go, oh, if that's what this is, then, and then being able to address it. And sometimes they might not be completely conscious of it. It might not be on purpose.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's why, like in those situations, you can make it into a wrestle or a fight or something. But here, I think just giving whatever his heart desire is, whatever he wants, like let him have it, and
Yeah.
may be blessed with that. And that leaves him open to being able to make his choice. And whatever that thing is that's making him uncomfortable and not being able to resolve this situation, it resolves it in him, regardless of what he does in the situation.
Okay.
You
And
know
then,
what I mean? Does that make sense?
yes, it does. So what I try to do too is clean the cords, but not sure.
Yeah, well, cleaning the cords
Or-
would be good. Projecting blue, like when you're doing the whiteboard, that would be good. But there's looks like there's like he's got something he's working out. Like there's a little bit of an agenda.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the house. I mean, I don't know the details, but it has nothing to do with the house.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
it might be that he's just able to voice it. It might be that he lets go of it. It's always hard to say, but you know, if anything comes out of it, there gets to be a little bit of healing or resolution for him in this situation, rather it just being this like weird thing that's getting acted out on.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
One
And
quick
still
question.
do your healings, like
Oh.
still do your stuff, still do your prayers, like still do all that stuff, but just like add this little bit to it.
Thank you. Thank you. I will do that. One quick question.
Hmm?
See Odorum, I ordered it and now
Oh, yeah.
I forgot why.
So super good detoxifier, like it's
The
really
toxifier,
good.
got it.
Yeah, really super good detoxifier. And also calming to the nervous system. If you took like 6-8 drops in water before bed,
Uh-huh.
it can help improve sleep. And it's again, it helps like all the organs to detoxify.
6 to 8 drops in water, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you
Kind
so
of
much.
tastes like Mexican food or curry or something.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's got a little
Wow.
like not spicy, like it's just like it's got a strong, you know, flavor.
should have nacho.
You'll recognize it.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Greg.
You're so welcome.
Appreciate it.
Tell Chris hi.
I will. Thank you.
And go ahead, Megan, then Linda.
Hey, Megan.
Hey, Greg, I wanted to see if you wouldn't mind checking in on the progress or kind of next steps with this phobia thing that, you know, I've been working on a long time.
What
Just
is it? What is it?
the phobia, like elevator.
Oh, yes.
So like you remember the abandonment class helped, it like brought it on a good notch. And then so like I couldn't go to the store even, but that is perfectly comfortable now. For a while it was like I could go, but I was uncomfortable. Now I'm like totally fine with the store. And what I did after I was working the abandonment booklet for a while was I was just looking for something else, but I found the class Sacred Fire, and I was looking through the thing, and it looked like basically a super expanded PTSD protocol.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just really feels like a PTSD thing. Like when I'm in, like when I was in the store, I was always like on guard for like a loud noise or like an employee that looked panicked, or, you know, I kept expecting like an emergency. So I did that, the beginning part, which is like rescue and,
Right.
you know, splendor and stuff. And that brought it down another notch, which is great. But so I did it 2 or maybe 3 times. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, it's just not getting past a certain point. Like, I don't think I can get on a plane right now.
Oh, okay, but you can go into stores and things like that.
Yeah.
Some pieces have gotten better, but like there's still some pieces that are ugh.
Yeah, like daily life is all perfect now, which is great. But like, for example, I was at Seaside, Oregon, and they have this really cheesy little mall thing.
Mhm.
And I couldn't find the exit for a little while, just for like a few seconds. There was a few hallways that I thought were an exit and weren't. And I, you know, panicked for like a minute or so until I found an exit. Just things like that. And then like there's this work party Jay wants me to go to, but I'm gonna have to go up like 50 stories in an elevator, and so I'm probably not gonna go. So.
Okay, let me sit with it for just a moment here.
Thanks.
And thank you for the books, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad.
Yeah. Better, but still some. Okay. I mean, I'm really reaching out there right now, as far as that you have this or not. But there's this blend. It's in an upcoming class, but it's also something from a long time ago called Sharanagati. Do you happen to have
I
that?
think I might have a little 2 ml of that, but
Yeah, perfect.
last
If
time I
not,
tried to find it, I couldn't. So what's a backup? Yeah,
Rose, do you have
I
access?
don't.
Um, you have some Embret, yeah?
What is it?
Embret?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got some Embret. Let's have you pull the Embret out.
Okay.
And like, let's just have everybody follow along with this. This is, we'll see how this does.
Okay, I have to leave for a second to get it. One.
So you're gonna have everyone do this?
Mhm.
What kind of?
Other people, like you can use something that's like a flower or a helichrysum, something like a lighter. Rose, jasmine, lang lang, even lavender would work. Helichrysum, chamomile.
If somebody had Sharanaka tea,
Yeah, use that. Yeah, yeah.
And I'm back, just so you know.
Okay, so let's have you begin inhaling, and I think everybody else has kind of gotten set up as well. Have you start inhaling? Your awareness is on the back heart, the area between your shoulder blades. No need to think of any situation or anything. Just if you want to, you can, but you don't have to. And then just let it go for a second. And then again, begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the back heart. And then move your awareness to the crown, the top of your head. And then the right sole of your foot. And then your left palm. And then your right palm. The left sole of your foot. And your crown. And then just let go for a moment. Just be still. Begin inhaling again. Your awareness is on the crown. The left sole of your foot. The right palm. The left palm. The right sole of your foot. And the crown. Move your awareness to the front heart, center of your chest. Long, slow, deep breaths. Keep your awareness on the front heart. You're still taking long, slow, deep breaths. Hey, just let go. Just be still, be aware, just let go. Begin inhaling again. Your awareness is on the front heart. Move your awareness to the back heart, the area between the shoulder blades. Do the front heart and the back heart at the same time. Keep inhaling. Your awareness is on the front heart and back heart at the same time. Okay, let everything go. Just let go for a moment. Okay, Megan, I'd like you to do this like maybe 2 or 3 cycles, like every night for a week.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see how that treats the phobia.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You could also put a drop or two of the Embret in water and drink it, and then do this process.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
This is like helping to release things like from the body and from just accumulated lower emotional stuff, like things that are not in your conscious awareness.
Mhm.
And so you notice the first part is back heart, and then we go through and do the second part is front heart. Linger on that component for a little while.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other, speaking of the heart, I think I said this to an email and Sam, but whatever you did during the study session, like 2 weekends ago, just completely changed my body. I'm still expelling my neck. Today it felt like my head was coming out. My head coming out. Old congested energy seem to be coming out of my head and my jaws. And it's all like something just loosened up in my heart, my upper spine, my shoulders, and just like, I'm still like, it just set off like this domino effect. And I still am feeling it was huge, like one of the biggest just healing things I think I've ever gone through.
Yeah, remember when we were talking about it like back in July, I was like, I think you guys are ready for this. Like, I kept saying that, but like I wasn't elaborating. It that one especially, it's a very strong class. Like it's like something starts shifting and you kind of quickly.
Just the study group, you're saying?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the class from a couple weekends ago. It was the
No,
study
this was
group?
just the free study group. And I asked a question about like feeling stuck in my life and certain things. And it was to break internal boundaries. And
Oh, this would be something similar in that vein of what we were talking about.
yeah, it was like
Yeah.
front heart, back heart, between the front and back heart, 2 inches in the chest. Did that for a
Oh,
long
yeah,
time.
that's very similar to what we're doing here. This is
And
like a specific, a little bit more specific to parasympathetic activity, but still back heart, but really super specific to parasympathetic.
yeah. Okay. And maybe after this, like, and or even after that thing from the study group, some of the other stuff I'm doing would work better too, because I feel like, yeah, my heart just got really light after that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it empties it out. Like it just empties out some stuff that's been there for a while.
yeah, cool. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. God, I forgot I did that in a study group. Yeah. That's a powerful technique even without the oils.
And then go ahead, Linda, then Babette.
Hey, Linda.
Hey, Greg.
Hey,
How are you?
doing good.
I, after each chakra weekend, I just keep working out. And again, just that emotional release sequence. Oh my gosh, I was crying yesterday and I never cry. It was so good. So in the last couple of weeks, my adrenal fatigue has cropped up. So I've been working with I've been using the protocol, the basil, what do you call it? That S word.
Shazandra.
Yeah, at night, drops in the water and black spruce. So that's not really what I'm about tonight. And I also thank you so much for sending me the little lotion to put on the vitiligo. You sent me something that's bergamot and kelp.
Yeah, it's bergamot. I went through my notes and I found something where I had gotten some results a little bit more so with the bergamot. And I saw that you had ordered some carrot already. So I was like, let's just mix this up.
Yeah.
And so part of the carrier that I put it in is also like a sea kelp, and like coral, it's very good for that kind of skin as well. So let's see what it does.
Well, that may help the part C. So here's the, oh my God. So I just found out this morning that I have shingles and it's on, I know. So I've got it on the back of my head at the occiput, slightly to the right. Fortunately, I caught it pretty early. I'm taking a pretty gnarly antiviral called valacyclovir. I think I probably should because it's in my head.
Yeah,
and I
in the head, and if it starts getting close to the face or the eyes, that's pretty.
Yeah. And also my acupuncturist, I also saw today, and she did this treatment where you take a little hammer with pins and you hammer. Oh my God, that I think, and so that's helped open up. So we'll start scabbing. So any suggestions? I pulled out my immune support and I've been inhaling that.
I mean, that's good. But like the two things that I usually do with shingles, Ravensara can be helpful, but a lot of times what I do is I have people go to the health food store and get L-lysine, and pretty hefty dosages, like usually 3 of those capsules a couple of times a day.
Robert, are you putting this in the chat for me? Yeah. Let me see.
So L-lysine.
Oh, L-lysine. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
that will slow it down and even like make it start dissipating, go away.
Okay.
And the other one, it's really super stinky, but when you go to the health food store, find some neem oil, like
Mhm.
neem, and like do not wear your favorite t-shirt when you're wearing it, whatever. I mean, it stinks, but you
Okay.
put it on the spots and it helps to reduce it quite substantially. You know, usually
Okay.
only need to apply it like maybe 2 or 3 times a day, but it's a pretty stinky, you know, it's actually not an essential oil, it's a base oil. We
Mhm.
have a whole bunch here, but you know, I don't know, like there's lots of uses for it, but because it's so stinky, like I don't really break it out very much.
Mhm.
But for shingles, if man, that L-lysine combination with the neem, it's a
Okay, so the
it's a
lysine,
total 1-2 punch.
okay, so the L-lysine is oral, the neem
Yes,
is topically.
yes.
My acupuncturist had me pick up, and maybe I'll return it if you think this is better. She had me pick up some St. John's wort oil to use topically.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Could I
I mean, it
alternate?
helps to reduce the pain and everything, but the neem really goes after the virus itself.
Okay,
The St. John's wort is a good anti-inflammatory, and it is a good, I mean, I'd keep it around for whatever. You know, it's that real pretty kind of red
uh-huh.
oil. That's, yeah. You'll use it for something.
So if I'm using topically right now, should I just use neem oil or, and how many times a day? And then should I occasionally use the St. John's wort? I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
could.
want to,
Yeah, sure. No, that's fine. Yeah, just rotate them kind of like far apart. Like give it like 3 or 4 hours with one, and then 3 or 4 hours with the other. I'd go a little heavier on the neem, but
okay,
the St. John's wort will help a little bit with the pain.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, it's already feeling better since she did that hammer thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those are amazing. Yeah.
I know, and it actually felt relieving. And then with this, this antiviral
Mhm,
stuff,
mhm.
it's not an antibiotic, but it's an antiviral. Should I take like extra probiotics with this, or because I don't want this to be
Antiviral.
messing up my gut when it's just started to stabilize again?
Antiviral. You know, I'm not sure. Let me think about that for a little bit. I might even need to look something up and
Okay,
get back to you like right after tonight.
because I'm just recovering from another bout of the colitis and I've started to stabilize,
Mhm.
and I don't want to mess that up.
Yeah. The colitis has calmed down though?
It's, yeah, a lot,
Okay.
a lot. I'm actually, I'm just feeling so much better emotionally and
Do you
actually
have
physically stronger.
like the Paracelsus blend or absinthium or wormwood or something like that?
I'm actually taking a supplement that's got wormwood and what's the other one in it, because I had
Black
a
walnut.
rebound with parasites.
Yeah, black walnut.
Yeah, so how about I stick with that?
Stick with that, but do you have any of those topically?
No.
How about lemongrass? You have some lemongrass?
I might. I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
If not lemongrass, maybe even something like marjoram.
Oh, I have lots of
Okay,
marjoram.
so if you don't have any of those other ones, at least marjoram, 8-10 drops in your hand, and then like a couple pumps of lotion or a squirt or two of lotion, and then rub it together, and then rub your whole abdomen.
Oh, my abdomen with
Yeah.
marjoram.
Do that a couple, like maybe twice a day
Oh,
for
that sounds
maybe about a week.
delicious.
Yeah, maybe about a week.
Okay,
Yeah,
that sounds really good.
yeah. Like do that to offset the effects.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Lovely. Ah, this is so great. Okay.
Good, good, good.
And then you can unmute yourself with that, then Marianne, then Mimi.
Hey, y'all.
Hey,
Okay, I have a benzoin question, which is mine is from 2017. It
Mhm,
still smells wonderful,
mhm.
but it's amber and very, very thick. What can I
Yeah,
thin it with?
benzoate is actually one of the oils that comes as a solid that we do have to add a little alcohol to. Um, so I would heat it up again like you're heating up, like, make a cup of hot water like tea, and then stick it in
Mhm.
there and let it liquefy a little bit. And then just add like a little tiny bit of alcohol or jojoba in it. I usually use alcohol just because it has a better effect of like keeping the more solid component like more viscous. Benzoin actually isn't an essential oil. It's like a resin oil. Like it's just basically resin that gets liquefied that we then add a little bit of alcohol or something to it to make it like flow. But in its state, it's just like a hunk of resin. And so makes it hard to work with. But like you said, usually when we send it out here, it's pretty liquid. But over a period of time, any of the resins will get thicker and thicker. Frankincense will do that, myrrh, frankincense, myrrh, like vetiver, sometimes even patchouli, swazi. Oh man, swazi like just turns into this brick. Like after even a couple of months of me having it, I constantly have to heat it up. And then there's some CO2s that do it. And so it's just one of those things where if you heat it up and make it a little bit liquid, like you don't even have to heat it up a lot of times that much, and then just add a little alcohol and then just shake it up, you should be pretty solid. You
Oh,
could
that
add
sounds
a little bit instead if you wanted to, but I tend to go the alcohol route.
No, I think alcohol sounds great. My next question is, I've got that compromised sense of smell, and to me, benzoin smells wonderful. Does it smell good to others?
Yeah, it's actually a very pleasing scent. They use it in perfumes and things. It has
Okay.
a little bit of a vanilla kind of smell to it, like a heavy note, and not quite vanilla, but it's like distant cousins of vanilla or something. Same with tonka bean. Tonka bean will have like a bit of a lemony kind of scent to it.
Smells like my dad, and I can't remember if it's Old Spice or English leather. But
Yeah, like in some blends, especially things that were like sandalwood and black pepper with a little bit of like a citrus and a little flour, they would usually add a little benzoin to it, like just to kind of hold everything together.
and it's energetically safe to use it every day
Yeah,
as a perfume.
yeah.
Okay. All right, sounds great. And I have so enjoyed knowing to sing the bowl with concentrating my back heart. That makes it easy to do it basically every day, which is really lovely. Thank you.
Oh, good.
And then go ahead, Marianne, then Mimi.
Hey, Marianne.
I just wanted to update you.
Oh, yes.
The constant intense pain of last week subsided, and it's been a great relief.
Okay.
The problem is still there, however. And I did receive the oil
Mhm.
that you sent, and I've taken it for 2 days, and I
Okay.
take it before bed because I was having difficulty even sleeping prior to that. And I didn't I took a break from my emails and didn't get your response until just before this class. And you, in the email, it said, take twice a day,
Yeah.
4 drops in water twice a day.
Yeah. Once a day is
Okay.
good, but like I think you could bump it up. At least maybe if you're taking in 4 drops at night, maybe in the morning do 2 or 3 drops.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that an oil to inhale also?
You could. That's actually it's a variation of an anointing oil. It does something very different the way that I sequenced it here, but the main components are the same, but it basically calms down activity, agitation, whatever you want to call it, in some of the limbic responses. And
Okay.
and so whenever you're able to do that, part of the byproduct is pain levels go down. And so, I was looking at it when we were talking about your issue last week, and I was like, boy, treat it this way, treat it that way, like looking at all the different parameters of how we could do it with just straight up normal pain management. But it seemed like if we could calm down the limbic system, like the other things will be easier to treat. Sometimes
Okay.
they'll even completely diminish and go away, but even if they're there, it just makes it easier to treat. And I think it also help you just feel a little better too. Like you said, like
Yeah.
maybe a little bit better sleep and mind's a little quieter, things like that.
Yeah, just being rid of the constant pain
Yeah.
is
Oh
a
yeah.
great relief.
Pain is debilitating.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I've
I can hear you.
tried to pace myself
Yeah.
I'm sort of only doing what I can do and not trying to do everything at once and just
Mhm.
go my own pace. And it's been a big relief. So
Good.
thank you.
I'm glad you're
Um,
feeling a bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel much, much better. Um, it's been an interesting process. So, um, it's like I'm getting a lot more than I bargained for, or it's in a good way.
Right.
In spite of the pain, I'm sometimes amused at, how I now think of things,
Right.
about things, or I don't know, it's an interesting process. So thank you.
You're so welcome. Good. I'm glad you're doing a bit better.
Okay.
And then go ahead, Mimi.
Hey, Mimi.
Hi, I know this, I'm hoping this isn't too off topic, but
There is no topic tonight, so that would be really hard for you to do.
okay, great. Essential oils are a no-go for dogs, correct?
There's actually a few that you can use. I don't like to use a lot of things. I mean, there's definitely some things that you should stay away from, like wintergreen, for example, would not be good. But in the past, we've used a little tiny bit of basil, like mixed in like some alcohol, and you could rub it kind of in the fur along their spine.
Okay.
It's very calming and soothing to them, and it's actually what we use like when an older dog is, beginning the transition phases. We'll do that, and they really are able to calm down significantly. And so you could do some version of that for like a dog that might be anxious or
Yeah, I was my dog has he has cancer on the right side of his heart, and we're doing pranic healing, and we're doing
Right.
he's on some Yunnan Baiyao, which is a Chinese herb, and
Right.
I was also going to try either is it Isiac tea and or turkey tail, and anyway, I was
Right.
wondering if you had any thoughts of if there was anything that I don't know.
I think both of those can be effective. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I mean, it's with that, it's hard to tell, but definitely it's always worth a shot. I've never given ECAC to a dog. Turkey tail, I'm not sure either, but I have given the mushrooms before.
Okay.
Yeah.
think
Which
like
how old's the dog? How old's
He's,
he?
well, I found him almost coming up on 4 years, and the vet had said he was about 3 or 4 at the time.
So
So
he's
he,
still young.
oh,
yeah.
he's really young and he's doing fine now. You would never know, but we had an incident where there was water filled around his heart, and I mean, he almost didn't make it, but we drained it, and now this unum bio is keeping the heart from bleeding, or the tumor from bleeding. It's amazing that it actually keeps your organs from bleeding. So but in the, I also need these tumors to go down. So I actually think the pranic healing is really working, but it's,
Mhm.
I'm just wondering what else I can supplement that's also going to be complementary. I've tried a little bit of homeopathy. I've tried a lot. So I feel
You
like,
know, in people, there's a kind of a few go-to things when people are going through that are like can directly impact, tumor growth.
mhm,
And one of them is the different forms of pine.
okay.
Very inexpensive. Again, I would probably apply
Oh
it.
yeah, pine needle tea, I've heard.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
like
Okay.
that. Even a drop or two of the oil and then an alcohol, and again rub it in there, along the spine. But
Okay, can I do drop or two? You said 1 or 2 drops in like maybe coconut oil and rub it on their fur?
yeah, as long as you don't mind it being greasy. Yeah, like the only reason I say alcohol is just because it dries. But if you want to do a
Oh, no,
little
that's way
jojoba
better.
or something like that,
Maybe
how
that's
big is
better.
this? How big is this dog?
Oh, he's like not even 24 pounds. He's a large, small dog. So he's a small dog, but he's kind of on the larger side.
Yeah, like a drop or two should be good.
Do you guys have this particular pine oil? Do you think?
Yeah. Oh, you could use any of the pines. Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
of the pines? No,
Mhm.
not any one particular.
I mean, I like for that, I tend to use Sylvester pine
Sylvester.
or Scotch pine, which are like more of the common types of pine.
Okay, and that's on your website, right? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Robert posts the links here. If
Ah,
you,
thank you, Robert.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then like once a day?
Yeah, once or twice a day. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
once or twice a day. Amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm
Yourself.
thinking right
Keep
now.
us posted.
Oh,
Yeah.
I will. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
and then that's pretty much time. I'm gonna just kind of slide through here, guys, make sure I didn't miss any of your questions, but I think hopefully we will be able to see you guys here in just a minute. We're gonna jump over to the next session. And yeah, I think great session tonight, guys.